Did you break your word to yourself and you feel guilty about life? Okay, like the example of being overwhelmed in your business. Did you say that you were going to commit to doing something, but then you didn't put it on your calendar? You didn't figure out how much time it was going to take. You didn't get help with it. You didn't actually do it when the time came up because, I don't know, you needed to run your kids' lunch to school, or something your team member needed you, or something that you considered more important came up. That's not keeping your word to yourself. Okay. Now, is there a time and a place to navigate those things? Absolutely. However, if you are not scaling at the level that you want to scale at, if you're not having a harmonized life, right, between work and life, there is an issue here that you're not keeping your word to yourself. So you're getting clear. Let's say you've worked number 1. You got clear on what done looks like for your projects and your tasks and your personal life. You worked rule number 2. You know what your true rhythms are, and you have made adjustments around that. Number 3, you've mapped it to your calendar. Okay, that's great. And then you get help. Okay, that's great. But now you're not keeping your word to yourself. It's on your calendar, but you're blowing it off. Okay, ask me how I know. I have experienced that. Okay, I know what that looks like. And here's the thing. You have to keep your word to yourself. You have to learn to be someone who does what's on her calendar. Okay, and you will experience discomfort around that. You will perhaps disappoint other people. Your child who's used to you running the school lunch to school because she forgot it is going to have to ask her friends for their apple in their lunch and won't have you able to do that anymore. Ugh. You know, that might be uncomfortable to both you and her. Okay. So you have to experience this discomfort and not die. Okay. And it generally is reactivity. And the things that you could be reactive to be frank, would be more likely in your business. You know, your team asks for this, someone sends an email, you're checking email, you get a text, blah, 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 and you're in reactivity mode instead of doing the thing that's on your calendar. And your subconscious, because you have this, you've been trained to be reactive to other people. We all have, but women especially. Your subconscious is going to think you're going to die if you don't respond, you don't react. And you probably have an identity of being someone who is helpful and responsive and fast and all of this stuff. And you know what that creates? That creates an addiction to hard. And if you want work-life balance, you got to clean that up. And it requires that you start keeping your word to yourself and recognizing when you break your word and doing it differently. Okay. Doing it actually differently. When, like, let's say you react to a team member and then you realize what you're doing, you actually go back and you say, you know what? I'll get you that tomorrow morning, or I'll get you that in an hour. And you put everything, all the notifications on off, and you go do your thing. Okay. So you have to keep your word to yourself. And this builds such self-trust. Okay. And you'll love your life if you do this.